Hi everyone, and today I've got for you an autobiographical story. This really is true, it really did happen. I may have embellished some of the details here for the retelling, but that's only because it happened such a long time ago that I'm not 100% clear on all of the details, and I do want to communicate to you some of the feeling of the time, and it's helpful with that mild embellishment. But the story really is true. And that is my first encounter with real magic, which happened, I think, when I was in kindergarten, so maybe about 5 or 6 years old. And at the time, I was already familiar with other types of magic, card tricks, or maybe like the magic ball that appears and disappears, or like the three shell game thing where the ball kind of moves from one shell to another. But this was my first encounter with magic that was real. And it came through an unlikely source. I had a classmate in kindergarten. Her name was Tanya. And one day she confided in me a secret. And that is that she and her mom and dad, her parents, had gotten hold somehow of a magic carpet. And this magic carpet could fly. And the three of them had flown around the town and flown around cities and had adventures with that carpet. And then when they decided it was time to let it go, they had gone and secreted it away by burying it at the edge of town. They buried the carpet at the end of an asphalt road of our village in a place where it met a dirt road that led out then to the farmers' fields. So I heard all this from Tanya, and as she told me all about this, I hatched up a plan. Because, a magic carpet is a very special thing. And I thought that if they had surrendered the magic carpet and they'd had all these wonderful adventures with it, wouldn't it be a wonderful thing if our family could have similar adventures with the magic carpet? So I hatched a plan, and when I got home from kindergarten, I started putting together some things. I got myself my bucket from a sandbox along with a plastic shovel that I used for the sandbox and other kind of implements and tools that a 5 or 6 year old would have. And then I had to be very patient and wait for my parents to get home from work, because I couldn't just go to the edge of town by myself. I would need adult supervision to make sure that I was kept safe. I didn't have permission to go on my own. So it was a long afternoon, but my dad finally came home, and I knew that if I told them the truth of what I had learned, it wouldn't go over so well. So I didn't tell them what it was for, but I impressed upon them how important it was that we go to the edge of town, because I wanted to do something there. It was important to me, and somehow they realized how urgent this was, and they placated me. My parents are both kind people, and so they had the patience that we all set off, probably after dinner when the sun was already going down. We all set off, and I led them to the edge of town without really telling them what I was up to, with my little pail and my little shovel. And when we got there to where the asphalt ended and the dirt road began, I realized the first challenge, which is there's a lot of dirt road, and there's no obvious place where a magic carpet was buried. But I knew it had to be someplace close to the edge. They couldn't have gone far down the dirt road. So I set down my pail, and I got out my little plastic shovel, usable for sandboxes, and I started to try and chip away at that dirt road. And it was tough going. It was hard packed clay and stones. And, I would chip out a stone and I managed to pry it away from the hard pack and then get it into the bucket and then chip away at that some more with the plastic shovel and manage maybe to scrape away a bit of dirt. And I realized after a couple of minutes that this was going to be much harder than I thought. But if only I could reach the fibers and then have the evidence that there's something there. And I knew it couldn't be buried far down beneath the dirt. It had to be someplace close to the surface. If only I could get down a little bit then to show my parents the evidence, then I would be able to take the extra time. They might even help me in uncovering the magic carpet, and then we could go off on all these wonderful adventures. So I kept chipping away. The sun was down, it was dark. My parents finally got impatient as I was digging around here and there, trying to make a hole and not explaining to them what my reasoning was behind it. And so finally they insisted, like, look, it's getting late, we'd better go. And so my heart sank, but I knew that there'd be another opportunity. I wouldn't be able to ask my parents again the next day or the day after that, but I knew where the magic carpet was, and I knew where I'd be able to go if ever I wanted to uncover it and experience that magic for myself. So I never managed to get back there again with my little shovel and pail, and time passed, but I still remember where it is. So someday still, there'll come a time where I go back there and I will have my pail and my shovel, and I'll have the time and the patience to be able to dig down until I manage to uncover the carpet itself and unearth it and claim it for myself. And at some point, who knows, maybe I might be the parent then and will have children of my own, nieces and nephews or others to accompany me on those adventures. But I know that time will come, and I know that magic carpet will be waiting for me when I'm ready to claim it. Thanks for listening, and well, I don't know if you got anything from that story, but it's the reality of being a kid, I suppose. Bye, everyone.